everybody. I am going to show you how to prep your pie pumpkin for pumpkin pies. So, you're going to need a knife, a cutting board, a baking sheet, you're going to want to preheat your oven for bake, preferably convection bake, for 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to want some oil. I'm going to use olive oil today, but you can also use avocado oil or coconut oil. Some people recommend to use coconut oil if you're prepping the pumpkin for a sweet dish, and avocado or olive oil if you're prepping the pumpkin for a savory dish. Alright, so we are going to cut our pumpkin in half. Gonna cut the stem off because we do not need that. And there we go. Alright, now I'm going to scoop out the seeds. Now, normally I just got this yesterday. However, it's looking a little bit brown. So I'm going to scoop all this out. Normally I would save the seeds and roast the seeds, but I'm just going to go ahead and scoop all this out, throw it away, see what I have left to work with. See if I can just scrape out, because I just got this pumpkin from the market yesterday. It's a little disappointing. I'm gonna scoop out all the brown parts. Alright, so there is a good amount of healthy pumpkin, so that's good. In there, give the sides a good scrape. Oh, it's giving me some trouble. I'm trying to cut. There's a little bit of brown stuff in here. I'm going to just try and cut it out here. There we go. Alright, normally this does not take this long. I just there's some bad spots in here that I had to scrape out. Alright. Alright, and that's our first half. I'm going to go ahead and rinse this off a little bit. Normally I would not do that, but it had some bad spots in it, so now this side is a little bit worse. Oh my goodness. You could not tell from the outside that it is this bad on the inside. My goodness. Oh, and again, I just got this yesterday. My goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna try, I've got this spoon with like some grips on it. I'm gonna try to use this to try to scoop out some of these bad parts. Oh my gosh. Oh, this one's in pretty bad shape. I do not know if this half will be salvageable. I'm gonna try. Because again, you couldn't tell it was this bad from the outside. My kids really, really love when I make homemade pumpkin pie. Honestly, I love making it. Gosh. Oh man, that's really bad. Okay, I think I can get it, and I think I can just like cut off a chunk of this corner here. That's like really, really yucky. This does not normally take this long, I promise. This is usually a pretty quick. Oh, of course. Just cuz. But yes, this is usually a pretty quick process here. Alright, I got most of it. I am just going to cut off the rest. I actually have more than enough for making pies here. Goodness. Alright, let's cut this icky part off. That's what we're gonna do. Okay. Alright. I cut off all the crap. That sucks though, because yeah, you would not have known until you cut this open that it was that bad inside. Okay, alright, so the next step is going to take your oil and a brush, and we're going to put a light coat of oil on the inside of these. Okay, and we're going to take our salt. I like to use kosher sea salt. I'll put a little sprinkle of salt on them. Okay, gonna turn it upside down like this. Just like this. I think I'm gonna put a little foil on this one because I'm pretty sure that like there's a reason the pumpkin is supposed to kind of lay like this, so I'm gonna cover that end with some foil. Alright. Okay, so I am going to put this in the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour. I'll check back in with you then. Okay, and we are back with our pumpkin. So my pumpkin cooked for about 45 minutes and it is done. It is pretty much coming right off of the skin here, which is exactly what I want. Yep, that is perfect. Alright, so I'm going to let this cool here for just a moment. And I need a bowl. Okay. And I found my food processor, which I highly recommend. It just makes it so much quicker and easier to turn your pumpkin into a puree, which is what you're going to do to make pumpkin pie. So, and you should be able, I mean, this one's pretty much sliding right out the skin. That's beautiful. That's perfectly done right there. Alright. Same thing with this one, just falling right off the skin there. Alright. Now I like to make a nice deep dish pie, so I'm going to get as much as I can, especially with having to cut part of the pumpkin off. So, alright, I'm going to let that cool down just a little bit more, get some things cleaned up, and then we're going to turn that into a pie-fill puree. Okay, we are back, and I have my food processor all set up and ready to go with my roasted pumpkin, and we're gonna turn this into a puree so I can then turn it into a pumpkin pie. So all I gotta do is super easy. I've got a Ninja, so I've got to push my power button and blend. Take my scraper right here, pop open the lid. Please don't mind my mess. I have been working and sweating all day long. Be dressing it up for Thanksgiving tomorrow and go through, and I'm going to scrape the sides. Make sure everything gets blended up nice and even. I'm going to let that go for a few more minutes. That is how you make your pumpkin puree. Alright, so crust has been chilling in the fridge for a little bit now. It's time to make some pies. And the first step is to grease your pie pan. Now, I'm using a little bit, technically I'm using a cake pan because I like to make some deep dish pies. So, I'm going to take my Crisco here and I'm going to grease my pan. And make sure it's got a nice even coat. Make sure you get your sides. You want a nice even coat throughout the whole pan and up the sides there. Alright, and I'm going to set this to the side. The next step is going to be to roll out my pie crust. And then take a little bit of flour here and sprinkle it on my surface so that the crust doesn't stick to the counter. I'm also going to preheat my oven to 425. Okay, that was way too satisfying. I'm going to preheat my oven to 425. This recipe calls for me now. I always pre-bake my crust a little bit, just a little bit. This recipe calls for me to cook the pie at 425 for 10 minutes and then lower the heat down to 350. So that's what we're going to do. There we go. That's preheating. Now we get our crust. I'm going to flour my hands as well for handling the crust. Move. Come on. Nope. Nope. Move. Come on. Good girl. Alright. I'm also going to flour my, oh my gosh, rolling pin. Oh my god, that was terrible. I totally forgot what this was called for a second. I'm not even gonna lie. Alright, gonna give that a nice little covering of flour as well and roll. And you can put a little more flour on that. Now I get the flour here. a naughty little crust right here. This is sticking to my rolling pin really bad. Okay, so I'll take my pan here. My naughty little crust here that is really not cooperating. I'm going to kind of hand press it in there. I was hoping to get a little fancy with it, but it's not cooperating. Sometimes happens, so I ain't afraid to get in there with my hands. That's a little strange. Okay, now I'm just lightly pressing and smoothing this out. Make sure it's nice and even. I'll take my butter knife here and cut the excess off the sides, just like this. I'm just going to take some of this, press it into where I've got a little gap right here. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. Stir fry crust. Now, very important step. I'm going to take a fork. I'm going to poke holes in it. And I usually just go on like circular pattern, like just like that. All right. And now this is going to go in the oven. Get to just a really nice light golden brown, and while that's going in the oven, we will put our pie mix together. So we're going to put in 15 ounces of pumpkin puree that I made earlier. That's giving me a... Let's get a scraper. Okay. There we go. Okay, we're going to add 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. things are just not wanting to, that was too big. There we go. Okay. 2 large eggs. Right, and then try that just a little bit more. Okay, and next we're going to do 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Here. Ooh, that just decided to go for a flight. It yeeted itself. Can you give me just a couple minutes to run my this right here, and then I'm gonna be done for a little bit with anything other than the oven. Okay, so 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Actually, that was my son being very, very considerate. We're in an RV, so we have to be very careful with our power usage. And he was asking about using the air fryer, which was super considerate of him. Okay, and we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger. A 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. A 1/2 teaspoon of salt. All right, and I'm gonna pop my lid on. I could just really, I said this. I use my food processor for a lot. It just saves so much time and work. Right, and we're going to blend all of that together. Take a good scraper, and you're gonna go in and scrape the sides to make sure everything is getting mixed together evenly. This is honest. My kids absolutely love my homemade pumpkin pie, and I honestly love making it for them. All right, that is looking good. Let's check on our pie crust. Is this for me? Yeah. Ooh. Oh, perfect. Just wanted to put that in there for a little bit. Okay, and now I'm going to add my mix. Okay, I'm going to evenly pour this in my pan. All right. All right, and now it is ready to go in the oven. We're gonna cook it at 425 for 10 minutes and then drop it down to 350. Okay, so close up. Look how nice and smooth. Look at that, look at that. Oh, it's gonna be gorgeous. All right. All right, so I'm gonna do a little cleanup. Okay, so I am back with the pumpkin pie, and we're gonna give this a quick check here and see how it's doing. It's looking good. It's smelling good. Okay, so I'm checking the pie. You want to take, a thin stick-like object. I want to take my small kebab poker here, and I'm going to put it right through the middle of the pie. Oh, and that is done. If it comes up clean, it's done. All right. This is my pumpkin pie. I'll let that cool, and that's going to be ready for later.